Hey, this is Harold. Today is Thursday, February 19th, and for today's video, I'll be going over the trade that I took today for a loss of $403.50 and just the daily plan that I had, what I was looking for today going into the market, and what my plan was. And before we get into the video, I just want to mention that these videos that I've been making lately are they're non-professional. I don't even know if they're educational. This is mainly just for me, my personal diary, I would say. And just to backtrack and just keep track of what I've been doing in trading, just to hold myself a little bit more accountable on putting my trading out there to the world for people to see if they want to come along and join the journey. But yeah, I mean, if I end up gaining more subscribers, any subscribers at all, maybe I can make some of these videos a little bit more professional and put a little bit more effort into them. But for now, I just want to keep them pretty casual for myself and just kind of create this routine of posting every day and just keeping myself accountable because I I already review every day. So I told myself, why don't I just make videos for people to see and for me to just keep track of what I'm doing. Yeah, so let's get into our trade today. So for today's trade, we took a loss for $403.50. At one point in the trade, we were up 300. The initial target was a 3.16R with a target of $1,262, and we ended up realizing an R multiple of 1.01. Um, so going into the market, I think today's price action was very, not price action, today's trade was very forced in my opinion. Like the plan that I created today, it just felt forced because the moment I hopped on my computer, this was about 30 minutes before market open, I was doing my analysis and I usually look for a short term trend, but I just couldn't. I don't know if I couldn't figure it out, if I just had a bias in my head already for what I wanted to do because yesterday I feel like, I got stopped out early. I missed the rest of my trade. And maybe just going into today my mental wasn't at the best in the best space, right? So yeah, price yesterday we saw a move up and then we came right back down and ended the day around the weekly and monthly value area low. So overnight, we created a lower high and ended up creating this level of supply, right? Red. And then we sold off with price opening around this area. The plan for the day was if we were able to get a break of this 68.86 level, which was just a nearby resistance in confluence with the weekly and monthly value area low. Right, if we were able to break above this level with strong volume and hold, I was looking to target the 69.10s, which was somewhere in the supply zone, right? But I didn't realize that we even had a supply zone until later. So that was the plan for the day. Going into the market, we opened right over here. So this is the open, this is the open. Let me indicate that for you guys real quick. And right now, just to let you guys know, we are looking at a 2-minute chart. Okay, so just keep up with me. So price was kind of just range bound here, but some things that I did notice was these high volume attempts to push higher, but price was unable to, right? We had buyers come in here, attempt to push higher, and we just get absorbed, right? Again, here we have 16,000 lots, increase in volume, but no real move to the upside, right? The area where I took my trade was right over on this candle. This white line that you see is the breakout level that we were looking at, 68.86, as here as well. So one thing I already messed up in this trade was I took my entry before the level even broke. Okay, I saw an increase in volume. Just gonna screenshot this for you guys. I saw an increase in volume, right? 10,000 lots, 20% positive delta, pretty good. We saw this P shape, hold. And to me, I saw that as enough confirmation to enter the trade long. Right, so I entered the trade on this right over here, targeting the 69.10s, which were way above here. But something I failed to notice, or I ignored during the trade, was this right here. There were 970 contracts bought, but it wasn't able to finish. The candle was not able to follow through above and hold above these buyers, right? So technically these buyers got absorbed. The buyers got absorbed, and on the next candle we actually get a decrease in volume. Now we have 8,000 lots and a decrease in positive delta, right? We went from 20% to 9%. Negative delta percent form. We see buyers get absorbed and aggressive sellers step in, right? If I had just waited till the level broke this area, right, I would have already seen that this trade was a no trade. But because I entered based off this candle right here, I got very greedy. I felt FOMO, and I took the trade early. Okay? And you know, it happens, like you will sometimes break a rule. I feel like ever since I started this funded account, I've been breaking not an aggressive amount of rules, but just like these slight rule breakages have been messing me up a little bit, which is, you know, it happens. And today I only took one loss. I was able to mitigate my losses so I can, you know, I can always have a chance at another day. I'm only down around 500 on the account. That's no biggie. I can get that back all in one trade if my trade hits, right? So something I want to go back to is the 5-minute chart here. And this is the last thing that we will be looking at. Bear with me. I know this looks kind of crazy. So this is the same as the breakout candle that I was looking at. This candle right over here. Right? And if I were to have just looked at different chart confirmations, which I usually do, I'm mainly looking at the 2-minute, but sometimes I'll be looking at the 5-minute as well. If I just were to hop onto the 5-minute chart, I would have seen that this auction was actually unable to complete. And we had buyers. This was an incomplete P shape. We had buyers get absorbed and sellers step in as well. And even for the next candle as well, right? This should have been a red flag for me to get out. Instead of taking the full loss, I should have gotten out right away. And if I realized this after this candle, after the 650 candle, I actually would have been able to take out the trade for, who knows, maybe a 1 or 2 point gain. But I realized way too late, by the time we were here about to stop me out, that the candles, the price got absorbed, the buyers got absorbed, and I just wasn't able to act on time by then. So if I can take a couple things away from today as a lesson, I would say it's two main things, and it's just to be able to not be so rushed and not be so tunnel visioned, right? Just flick back to the 5 minute once in a while and just check what's going on instead of being in such a hurry to make a trade happen, right? Respecting my levels that I set and the plan that I set for myself. There's a plan for a reason, and I need to be able to stick to that plan. And you know what? 80% of the time I do, and I'm pretty hard on myself the other 20% that I don't, but I have to be, right? If I'm not hard on myself, then I'm going to keep making these mistakes, and I need to minimize my mistakes as much as possible. So I need to stick to my plan. If I stuck to my plan today, then even if I was slightly confused on what the price action was looking like in the morning, where we were kind of headed for the day, where our bias was, I still would have been able to just get out with a no trade day, right? But the second thing I actually want to talk about for myself is I want to talk about context clues and how I want to get better at using context clues ahead of time, right? Like, for example, 2 context clues that we received was very high volume candles here at 644 and here at 636, literally showing us, oh, there is a lot of participants attempting to make a move higher, right? But they are completely unable to. Like a positive 7% delta with the big red doji candle, hammer candle, it's a pretty big red flag, right? It shows that there is buying activity, but for some reason the sellers are in control. Like, there's more buyers, but the sellers are in control. So when price is coming up to my breakout level, I need to keep that in my mind, right? The context clues that I'm receiving, I have to keep that in my mind and say, hey, I know we're reaching our breakout level. We need to be patient and see if we're truly getting a good confirmation to enter, because the context clues are telling us that this might not be a good trade to take as a breakout, right? If we want to bypass all those clues, then we have to get a really good confirmation. At the same time, we have to be using a good level. So yeah, that's what I learned from today. That's something I really want to get better at as I progress in my trading journey. I feel like being able to read the context clues and not be so moved by emotions is a big factor. Being able to have a wider point of view and not be so tunnel visioned on just seeing if my price is breaking out and if we're seeing buyers here. Like, there's a lot of ways to get faked out in the market, and I feel like because of this volatility that's been happening lately, January was very slow, December was very slow. Now that we see things are picking up, I feel like it's easier to take trades like this and make mistakes and maybe even burn myself out, right? So I hope I can just keep myself a little bit more accountable and come back stronger tomorrow. Thanks for watching again. Peace.